I just created video on Judge Jasmina Vasovic, President of Supreme Court of Serbia, deeply involved in international organized crime. So this is still processing. This video is still processing. I don't know, maybe, but it is important that there is a address here. Address is formed. That's the thumbnail. So now I will continue with other two judges who are also involved in that same scandal. So releasing the criminal who was involved in cigarette smuggling. So she was member of the as said here, as stated here, member of panel of judges, so not the president. And now I'm going to show who was the president of that panel, who released or acquitted Stanko Subotic-Cane. This is the guy. So that's the guy. And I'm going to continue with this list. So as explained in that video that I just uploaded. So that's the last video I uploaded. I don't know if I can see it now. No, it's not. For some reason it's not in my videos tab. Anyways, so I will this is list of 45 cases related to international organized crime in Serbia, or list of 45 cases of international organized crime related to Serbia, whatever. So this 42nd covers the Jasmina Vasovic, and now I will continue with another piece of shit. Judge Zoran Savic. He was president of judges panel of Court of Appeals, Belgrade Court of Appeals. So this is one of the highest instances of the court. After them, I think there is only Supreme Court. Of course, there is Court of the Constitutional Court, but I think this is, I mean, Court of Appeals is one of the highest instances of courts in every state. So that guy was also a judge who released on bail the guy named Koluvia, who was involved in biggest drug trafficking scandal or operation in Balkans. So there is the English version of English version of documentary on that scandal. So it's called Indictment Jovanjica, or Jovanjica Indictment. Okay. So of course this doesn't mean I'm against marijuana. I mean medicinal. I'm against everything that is smoked and is sort of leaves. So this guy, I think, yeah, Predrag Koluvia, that judge released him on bail, and you can see from this documentary, this is N1, they are part of the their CNN version in Balkans. So I'm not going into details about this, although this case Jovanjica is, I think, second in my list. Yeah, it's second in my list of 45 cases of international organized crime related to Serbia. First one is, of course, the illegal arms trade. So go back to the subject. So Zoran Savic, he released on bail that guy Koluvia. He was the president of, again, president of panel of judges, which, yeah, I mentioned that. Which released that guy Cane for Stanko Subotić for cigarette smuggling, and member of panel of judges which released Zvonko Veselinović, so a mobster from Kosovo and Metohija. All these, so this is my conclusion, all these crimes are international organized crimes, as a matter of fact. So all of them will be trialed, if I can put it that way, in again in international institutions. Can I say this? Or will be trial. Okay, anyways. So now of course I'm going to open one of the articles about this guy Savic. So nice style. So these are mobsters who he released, and he has the his property is worth of his property is more than €1,000,000, and okay, so yeah, this Zvonko Veselinović is close friend with the family of Aleksandar Vučić, current president quoted of Serbia. I explained who he is in that latest video I uploaded, so I'm not going to do that again. I showed videos about that monster and piece of shit so-called president. So this is live now. Okay, so let's see if there is something that's not, that I haven't mentioned. Yeah, so this is list of judges who released this Koluvia guy, so narco lord. Again, that guy Savic, Judge Savic, was the president of panel. The other judges of the panel were Duško Milenković, who is president of Court of Appeals. Wow. And Judge Zdravka Đurđević, a member of that panel, as I said, and this is written in the following article. So this is Creek, which is this is sort of investigative, not organization, but well, actual organization, because non-governmental, yeah, NGO are actually non-governmental organizations. So organization which are basically they're basically investigative journalists, which are doing job of prosecutors. By doing that, by moving cases to NGOs, it is way easier to be controlled, everything to be controlled by the pieces of shit from United States in the first place, embassy and other embassies foreign embassies in Belgrade. So as I showed in my video on illegal arms trade, exactly these pieces of shit. So they of course do some work in certain cases, but in most their main objective is to hide in every possible way that all these cases of international organized crime are actually controlled by United States and other elite countries of European Union. So they know about that. They're doing nothing. So this is just Serbia is just another example of so-called proxy or delegate to hide who's really behind this. So these not just Greek but some other players in this place. This is school play like Byrne, investigative Balkans investigative network of Serbia. Okay. Balkan investigative reporting network. It doesn't say. It doesn't say Serbia. Okay, so they are also involved in that cover-up of foreign governments being behind international organized crime in Serbia. In the first place, of course, illegal arms trade. The other ones are Pištaljka. I will mention them in next video, not next, second video after this video that I'm planning to create on illegal arms trade in Serbia. Then the what's next? Insider. And so on and so on. And what is also interesting, something that I'm really glad, because I really hate those pieces of shit. Insider coupled with what was the name? Free. Well, I cannot really know. Cannot remember what's the but I need to mention this is really important. So let's see. Radio Free Europe. Oh, come on. So Insider coupled with Radio Free Europe. So another investigative journalist network organization, Insider. They were what? Actually, Insider is now part of Radio Free Europe. Unbelievable. Yeah, so Insider Without Limits is cooperation between Insider Production and Radio Free Europe. So Radio Free Europe, so my point here is that Radio Free Europe is also part of that cover-up of illegal arms trade in Serbia. So they, together with Insider, Creek, Pištaljka, and I think there is someone else, I mentioned all of them in, at least I think I mentioned all of them in my video on legal arms trade, and YouTube is always putting that video at the bottom. So this is that video, 2 hours video, almost 2 hours, on United States federal government being behind illegal arms trade in Serbia and Western Balkans. So this is another proof about on that. Okay, so go back to subject. Let's see if there is some more dirt about this guy. So this guy so this is drug lord, and this guy is now, he was both Minister of Interior and Defense, and he is now Director of the State Intelligence. And there is something very interesting. So sanctions. Corruption in Serbia, US sanctions. So Associated Press. That's the guy. So he was friend with that guy who is narco lord. That's him. And okay, that's and he still became the Director of State Intelligence. I mean, you can see how deep this goes, how absurd the whole thing is. Okay, so let's see. This is about Colombia. Okay. So this guy was Kuluya was his case was in Harrison's court. Then his lawyers filed a complaint to Court of Appeals in Belgrade, and I explained what happened. So he's now under house arrest. I don't know if he's completely acquitted. And of course it says here that it is very rare that someone who is involved in organized crime, I mean it was in international organized crime, the biggest plant of marijuana in Europe, maybe even outside Europe. So that's the judge. These are some more examples. Oh yeah, regarding that decision of Supreme Court that releasing or equating Subotic for the cigarette smuggling, none of the judges suffered any consequences. So Supreme Court decided it was illegal to release this guy, but none of the judges get problems because of that. None of the judges from Court of Appeals who released this guy, who acquitted that guy, none of them had any sort of problems. They were not sanctioned on any ways, and so on and so on. So this is again about this Zvonkovic lineage and another guy, Milan Radojcic. So they are mobsters from Kosovo and Metohija. And Judge Savic was also involved in financing villa with 13 apartments which is worth more than €1,000,000. At the center of Kopaonik, that's the probably best known place for and the most popular place for skiing in Serbia. The money, the source of the money is not known, and the wife of this piece of shit, Savic, judge, is also a judge in Court of Appeals in Belgrade. They also owned 3 apartments in the center of Belgrade, and houses for houses which they use for vacation. I don't know what's the name of it in English. And of course, it is nobody can explain how they managed to have a property that is worth more than €1,000,000 when they together have around €4,000 a month. Their salaries. These are their salaries. So that Columbia guy, drug lord, has that tracker which convicts who are in house arrest have on their legs. Okay, this is now more about that scandal with drug farm. So I'm not going into that here. So that was regarding another judge, real piece of shit involved in international organized crime, Zoran Savic, and I will use this as my thumbnail for this video. So there is one more judge to be covered in another video, also involved in this scandal related to acquainting mobsters. I mean main players. So these are main players, not some small time players, big time players. These are big time players in international organized crime in Serbia.